everyone watching the presentation. Hope you're all having a good time. One of the key contributors to India's GDP is the service sector. And one of the key contributors to the service sector is the Indian IT sector. Today, India is the IT capital of the world with the presence of top IT global firms. And the following presentation will sum up our SFI project where we do an industry analysis of the IT sector with a special focus on TCS and Infosys. Companies like TCS and Infosys were set up in 1968 and 1981 respectively. However, there wasn't much of contribution at that point of time. In 1991, the Indian economy opened up and allowed foreign players to come in. That also provided access to Indian IT service companies to find customers across the seven seas. India soon became one of the most favored destinations for outsourcing IT work. This was primarily due to the following reasons. First, our education system was in good shape. We had educated skilled engineers. Second, English wasn't a barrier as an engineer spoke it well. Lastly, the 12-hour time difference means that the companies were able to work round the clock. Ever since then, the IT service industry has seen tremendous growth. So much that India is the world's largest sourcing destination, accounting for approximately 55% of the $190 billion market. Now we will use Porter's 5 forces for analysis of the Indian IT industry. The threat of new entrants is pretty low in the Indian IT landscape. One of the major reasons being that the deals that come in have a certain ticket size. And not every company will be able to deal with a project at that scale. Moreover, there are about 4 to 5 players which have built the capability to deal with this multi-million dollar deals. The startup culture is there, but the startup plays a very niche field. The bargaining power of the customer is high. That is primarily because of the Indian IT companies that are capable of handling work of that nature and size. Though there is only a handful of them, the customers have a sizable option to choose from, and each company brings something new to the table. The bargaining power of the suppliers is debatable. For instance, if we talk about the software vendors who are providing licensed software, there are vendors who give bulk licenses to the Indian IT companies, but still, they're in a position to demand a price for the software they provide. On the other hand, the hardware manufacturers are not in a commanding position because of the sheer size of the orders that are placed for hardware components. And moreover, with cloud services kicking in, this model has got to change. Indian rivalry is a high force in the Indian IT landscape. There are only a handful of large IT companies, and there is the rivalry between them in terms of the deals they win, the market they grab, and the bottom line they are able to showcase. In a way, this high industry rivalry has helped the Indian IT service sector to grow, as it has paved way for innovation, and each company came up with innovative solutions. At the current economic conditions, when the economies of the world are slowing down, there are high chances of substitution. Other economies like Philippines are bidding for IT projects globally as they are able to provide the work at a lower cost. Also, the companies that are giving the projects to the Indian IT service industry can do a backward integration and set up their own IT solutions company. Now, this was the Porter's 5 force analysis for the Indian IT sector. The industry is at a crucial stage with the clients now moving to digital technologies. The service companies are going in to reskill their employees on new emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data sciences.
Tata Consultancy Services is a leading provider of IT services, consulting and business solutions. IT infrastructure services, business process, outsourcing services, engineering and industrial services, global consulting and asset leverage solutions. They cater to a wide range of industries such as banking, financial services and insurance, manufacturing, retail and distribution, telecom, etc. Headquartered in Mumbai, TCS has 142 offices spread across 42 countries. This TCS is listed both on national and Bombay stock exchange. A strong foundation lead to a mighty building. The business model of TCS is blossoming due to the constant dedication of all the levels of the corporation. The hard work does not deteriorate from the strategic level to the management level to the operation. Mr. J.R.D. Tata and Mr. F.C. Kohli established Tata Consultancy Services in 1968 as a division to service their electronic data processing requirements and provide services in management consulting. The Tata Group is the parent company and it is based in the Mumbai, India. TCS is an IT service consulting and business solution company that provides actual outcomes to global businesses with a degree of assurance that no other company can match. TCS actively supports its manufacturing clients by using its competence across the manufacturing value chain, including customer satisfaction, development of new products, manufacturing improvement, and supply chain management. Its dedicated digital reimagination project for manufacturing assists clients in adopting digital technologies such as Internet of Things, digital customer experience, industrial optimization, e-commerce, big data-led predictive diagnostic, and social product creation. Now we'll talk about Infosys. Mr. Narayan Murthy, Mr. Dinesh, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, Mr. Ashok Arora, Mr. Shivulal, and Mr. Krish Gopal Krishnan established Infosys in 1981. Its headquarters are in Bangalore, India, and it has begun operations 30 years after TCS. Infosys is a company that provides IT consulting, technology outsourcing, and next generation services. It assists customers in transforming their businesses by co-creating game-changing solutions. It includes business IT services that compromises application development and maintenance, independence validation, infrastructure management, engineering services including product engineering and lifecycle solutions, and business process management, consulting and systems integration services that comprises consulting, enterprise solutions, system integration, and advanced technologies, products, business platforms, and solutions to accelerate intellectual property-led innovation, including Finacle, its banking solution. TCS corporate strategy. Customer centricity is at the heart of TCS approach. They collaborate closely with customers and create unique technologies, solutions based on their contextual understanding of their industry. These solutions answer our clients' specific demands, establishing us as trusted partners. Our consistent revenue growth, high proportion of repeat business, outstanding client matrices, long-term customer relation, best-in-class margins, and growing market share demonstrate the effectiveness of this approach. They have been able to pivot and adopt technological developments by collaborating with existing and new technology suppliers, recognizing trends early and investing ahead of time. They have remained relevant to their clients throughout the process, assisting them in realizing the benefits of each new technology. TCS has weathered numerous technology cycles in this manner over the last 5 years. Their people-friendly mindset is the second component of their company's sustainability. Over the last decade, investing in workers, empowering them, and assisting them in realizing their potential has resulted in best-in-class employee retention rates. In financial year 2017, their employee attrition rate in IT service was 10.5% once again, the lowest in the industry. Now coming to Infosys corporate strategy, every company has new components. While current systems require efficiencies to build in order to be renewed, the new component includes the company connecting its consumers in new ways through new business model and exploring new markets. Through its rejuvenation and new strategy, Infosys collaborates and co-creates solutions with its clients. Its new approach is as follows: differentiating its solution and services offering. For example, it is developing differentiated platforms such as Edge, Finacle core banking product, and the Infosys information platform, and leverages the strength of open source, emerging mobile and digital technologies, and big data analytics, creating strategic partnership and pursuing acquisitions to supplement its core skills, experience, and market presence in certain market sectors, developing strong client connections, creating an innovative culture inside the organization that provides value to the consumers, improving its operational effectiveness in terms of cost and speed, attracting and retaining talent that global drivers and high performance, as is widely known, Infosys sailed along with great performance until around 2008-9, when the global financial crisis put enormous strengths on the traditional outsourcing business. Simultaneously, the worldwide IT scene was shifting. While several Indian companies made remedial solutions to adjust to the new economic environment, Infosys struggled for a while. In 2011-12, the then CEO, Mr. S.G. Sibubal, launched the ambitious Infosys 3.0 program, which aimed to redefine Infosys as a provider of digital solutions. Unfortunately, the endeavor didn't perform well to fulfill the expectation of the stock market. Then the former chairman of Narayan Murthy returned and re-attempted to rationalize and revitalize growth, and it was finally successful.
Continuing with the value chain of IT industry, so businesses, governments, and consumers are all expected to increase the IT spending. The money and strengthening the IT systems to support growth and enable the firm to implement new businesses is referred to as run part of the IT expenses, whereas the change part of the IT expense is referred to as the money spent on creating and strengthening IT systems, support growth and enable the firm to implement new business models. Businesses around the world are rapidly adopting digital technologies. The major service lines offered by IT companies to user segments include application development and expertise, application solutions, assurance services, IT-enabled services, business process services, IT infrastructure services, product engineering, and R&D services. The major inputs to the IT companies include trained manpower, hardware, software research and development, and regular training for skills upgradation. So moving on to the financials, so we can see that for TCS how the revenues have increased slightly from the year 2019. Margins decreased year on year along with the operating revenues. This is mainly due to the knee-jerk reaction to the pandemic by many organizations, which resulted in reducing the IT spending. As a result, net profit after tax also reduced. The effect was also with massive sell-off in BSE at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, with the earning per share going down to 18.68 from 21.67. However, the financial changed drastically in the next quarter as businesses have spurred up and spending was resumed on building the IT infrastructure. So here for Infosys, we can see that the revenues are increasing only 3.8% and the profits have increased by 16.1%, whereas it could also reduce operating expenses by 1%. As a result, the net profit has increased by 14.4%. This fared well than TCS in managing operational activities and generating revenue. The result was also seen to the shareholders' value increasing with earnings per share also going up by 14.4%. A company pursuing a low-cost strategy acquires industry leader in supplying low-cost items to the clients. The company's goal is to manufacture or buy comparable goods or services at a cheaper price than its competitors. The cheaper appeals to the bulk of clients, allowing it to profit from volume sales. In order for this strategy to succeed, just one or two companies must be industry leaders in this position, whereas a differentiation strategy advocates for goods and services with distinct attributes and high value for the target client. The consumer believes that the features are so much superior to what the competition has to offer that they are worth the extra expenses. So differentiation could be based on overall number of feature quality, customer service, or other factors. Marketing campaigns are also one of the approaches to distinguish a product and build a strong emotional attachment to it, allowing premium costs to be justified. So the Indian actor is said to be following a low-cost strategy. Infosys and TCS both focus on the volume of deals rather than catering to only a few specific clients.
So in this slide, we are going to see what are the growth and development strategies that the TCS business model has. For market penetration, TCS has used market penetration in developing strategies to increase the market share of a particular product or service. The existing market is in USA and Europe, and the products are BPO, KPO, consulting services, and several software products. For product development, it predominantly refers to the methods and actions used to bring new products to a market or modify existing products to create new businesses. Here, the existing market is USA and Europe, and the new for new product, there can be consultancy and package implementation services in relatively growing sectors such as the life sciences, healthcare sectors, aviation sector, and the KPO services. Then comes market development. The new markets are India, Middle East, and Australia, and the existing products are again BPO, KPO, consult services, and software products. Then the company has also invested in diversification. There are several new packages like TCS Financial Solutions and platform-based BPO. And the new markets are Latin America, Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India. This is one of the fastest growing IT country, and its growth strategies can be the following. First is diversification. India, Middle East, and Australia can be the new markets, and for the new products, consultancy and package implementation services can be looked into because the growing sectors are relatively growing sectors are healthcare, life sciences, aviation sector, etc. We can the recommendation here can be changing the brand image from low value service provider to high value service provider. It is difficult to achieve results overnight, definitely, but it is quite possible in the long run. Then comes vertical integration. Infosys has always believed in organic growth from the beginning, but it recently made a big bid to acquire a European major, which is Accent Consultancy, to improve its business in European markets. But finally, it called off the deal due to high valuation. Next is innovation. The Software Engineering and Technology Labs, as it is known as the SET Labs at Infosys, is the Center for Applied Technology Research in Software Engineering and Enterprise Technology. SET Labs conducted around 24 innovation workshops with customers from different parts of the world, like Western Australia, to identify collaboration possibilities. Infosys promotes a favorable work environment that encourages innovation and meritocracy. TCS so successful? To answer this question, we can look into Everest Group's framework of 6 characteristics necessary for success. It can be attributed to aligning all 6 aspects of organization's framework. By doing so, they perfected an industrial global services model in which they are able to take a pragmatic and cost-effective approach to large-scale projects. Using this core understanding of who they are, TCS operates in a wide variety of geographies across a wide variety of industries. They apply this core understanding in a bewildering set of disciplines, ranging from applications to infrastructure to F&A to customer service. These service disciplines look highly unrelated, but when we dig deeper, we can see that they all have in common the ability to apply an industrialized global service model to the benefit of their clients. This understanding of their essence and discipline about applying it has allowed TCS to emerge as a true industry services leader. Let's look at the key success factors at Infosys. First is the business model. The Infosys business model is ideal. Previously, the company concentrated only on Europe and the US, preferring the global delivery model. During the 1990s, Infosys focused on factors like banking and financial services, manufacturing, application development, maintenance, and testing. These all helped Infosys to become a pioneer in the IT industry. Next comes revenue model. There are several, and Infosys have tried to improve their revenue by establishing productivity guidelines, improving the processes, driving more work offshore, increasing reuse by taking giant leaps from small steps, by providing quality services. Next, when we come to funding and investors, we see that Infosys has raised a total amount of $200 million in funding over the one funding round. It also has made investments. If we look into growth, we see that the Infosys growth story can be witnessed since it started trading in India from 1993. This was possible because the business had the ability to increase the per capita revenues and attract the brightest investments on the go-forward basis. Next is the hiring plans. The company has hiring plans to hire around 12,000 local additional workers for various roles in the year 2020. The eye will be specially on experienced technology professionals as well as new graduates from renowned universities and colleges so that it can create a strong platform. This action will be taking place in order to decrease their dependencies on the on the H1B visa in America. This is also a strategy to increase the local hiring in the US. That's all from our side. Thank you so much.